Let's be real. Life is noisy. People's opinions, daily frustrations, unexpected problem. It's non-stop. Every little comment, every tiny setback. If it all gets under your skin, you're handing over your power. That emotional control, that's your strength. And the truth is, the most unshakable people in life aren't the ones with fewer problems. They're just better at how they respond to them. Imagine this. You walk through life unfazed. No more spiraling over what someone said. No more outbursts. No more second-guessing everything. Just calm, focused, steady control. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to train your mind to act like nothing gets to you, because when you own your emotions, nothing and no one can own you. Let's start here. Step 1. Mastering the nothing bothers me mindset. Here's the thing. Life's always going to throw stuff at you. Criticism, distractions, drama, delays. It's all part of the game. But strength, real strength, comes when you stop letting those things shake you. Picture yourself in the middle of a storm. Everything's chaotic, people are shouting, stress is everywhere. But you don't flinch. You don't lose your cool. That's the energy we're after. Now, how do you get there? The key is learning how to separate your emotions from what's going on outside. Because when you let external stuff control your internal state, you're a puppet. But when you choose to stay calm and centered, even when things are falling apart, you become the one in control. And people feel that. That calm presence, it commands respect without you saying a word. You don't need to prove yourself. You just walk in the room and people can feel that energy. Think about the most influential people in history. They didn't freak out every time someone insulted them or things went wrong. They didn't waste their breath arguing with every critic. They moved with purpose. They stayed composed. That's real power, their secret. Indifference, not in a cold, careless way, but in a focused, deliberate way. They knew what mattered and what didn't. They didn't waste energy on anything that didn't serve their mission. And that's where self-mastery begins. In books, in mindset coaching, in success training. One truth keeps coming up. Your thoughts create your world. If you're constantly reacting emotionally, you're letting the world pull your strings. But if you develop a mindset that stays steady, calm, and focused, guess what? The world starts adjusting to you. Let's say someone insults you in public. Most people's first reaction is anger, defensiveness. They want to clap back. But what if instead you smiled, stayed quiet, and walked away? You just robbed that person of their power. They wanted a reaction. They didn't get it. And that silence, that calm, it unsettles people more than any argument ever could. Now you walk away stronger, untouched, unbothered. That's dominance without aggression. And most people don't understand it, but everyone respects it. Same thing with failure. You launch something and it flops. You get rejected. Most people take that personally. They get frustrated. They spiral. But when you're grounded, when you've trained yourself not to attach emotion to every outcome, failure just becomes information. A lesson, a direction change. It's not a hit to your identity, it's data. You move forward. You grow. You don't stop. So how do you train this mindset? 2 things: daily practice and visualization. Start by pausing before you react. That space between the trigger and your response, that's where your power is. Ask yourself, is this situation actually affecting my long-term vision? Is this reaction worth it? Or am I just giving my power away? 9 times out of 10, it's not worth it. And the more you make that decision to stay calm, the stronger that habit gets. Eventually, nothing can touch you. Then there's visualization. Every day, close your eyes and see yourself as the person who doesn't flinch, doesn't lash out, doesn't panic under pressure. Visualize it, feel it, reinforce it. The brain doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined. The more you rehearse that version of yourself, the faster you become it. People will notice. They'll wonder why you're not shaken like everyone else, why their insults don't land, why you move with calm confidence while others overreact. You'll become the mystery, the one they can't figure out. And that mystery, that's magnetic. True power doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove. It just is. So let's bring it all together for this section. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about choosing where your energy goes. Failure is data, not identity. Calm is your edge. Visualization builds identity. Practice makes it real. And every time you don't react, you win. Master this first mindset, and you're on your way to becoming someone that nobody can shake. Let's talk about emotional detachment, because there's a big misconception about it. People think being emotionally detached means you're cold, distant, robotic. But that's not it at all. Detachment isn't about having no feelings. It's about not letting your feelings control you. Think about the strongest people you know. They don't explode in anger every time they're challenged. They don't melt down when something goes wrong. They pause, they think, then they act, intentionally. That's the difference. Emotional detachment is about being the master of your emotions, not their prisoner. Let's say you're in an argument. Someone's trying to get under your skin. Do you take the bait? Do you let them pull you into a shouting match? Or do you pause, smile, and stay cool? Most people live at the mercy of their emotions. They get offended easily. They take things personally. They let every comment and criticism throw them off course. But when you've trained yourself to stay composed, to see things clearly even in emotionally charged moments, you gain a level of control that most people never even dream of. And here's the truth. Your inner world is sacred. If you keep handing it over to random people or random events, you'll always feel exhausted, drained, like you're constantly at war. But when you guard that inner space, when you decide, no one else gets to decide how I feel today, that's when things start to shift. Your stress drops, your clarity rises. Life becomes less of a battlefield and more of a chessboard. You stop playing defense and start playing to win. Remember this: thoughts shape reality. If you let small things control your emotions, they will control your results. But if you control your thoughts, you control your focus, your decisions, your outcomes. Let me give you a quick example. There was a man who lost everything: his business, his savings, his status, gone. Most people would crumble under that pressure. And for a moment he did feel it. But he didn't stay there. He reminded himself, I still have my mind, I still have my vision, I can rebuild. And that's exactly what he did. Why? Because he didn't identify with the failure. He didn't say, I am a failure. He said, I experienced a failure. That mindset is everything. That's detachment. When you stop tying your identity to outcomes, when you stop seeing rejection, loss, or criticism as something personal, you free yourself. And that freedom, it's a weapon. Now let's talk about one of the biggest killers of ambition: emotional turbulence. It's the fear, the frustration, the constant second guessing. Most people start with big dreams, but the moment things get uncomfortable, they fold. Not because they lack talent, but because they haven't trained their minds. But those who master emotional detachment, they keep going. They see fear and doubt as just noise, temporary feelings, not facts. They might feel it, but they don't feed it. That's what training your mind does. It gives you control over your reactions. It allows you to feel something without letting it drive your decisions. So how do you develop this kind of control? You start with awareness. Next time you feel angry, anxious, or insulted, pause. Ask yourself, Yanin, is this really worth reacting to? Will this matter in a week, a year? Most of the time, the answer's no. That pause is powerful. It's the gap between impulse and wisdom. The more you practice it, the stronger your emotional discipline becomes. You also need a clear sense of purpose. When you know what matters to you, your mission, your values, then everything else becomes background noise. Random comments, petty drama, pointless distractions, they stop pulling you off course. Your energy becomes focused. Your presence becomes magnetic. Because now you're not just reacting to life, you're leading it. And here's something else. Emotional detachment is not a lack of care. It's knowing what to care about. You can still care deeply about your goals, your relationships, your growth, but you don't spiral when things don't go your way. You don't fall apart every time life throws a curveball. You adjust. You keep moving. Let's make this practical. Next time someone says something negative to you, don't respond right away. Just pause. Take a breath. Think, does this change who I am? Does this stop my progress? If not, keep it moving. You're not ignoring the world, you're just choosing where to place your energy. And that choice, that's what sets the elite apart. Now think about the people who inspire you most. They're not the loudest, they're not the most reactive, they're the ones who stay solid when everything around them is shaking. They know who they are. And because of that, nobody else can define them. You can be that person too. The more you let go of emotional reactivity, the more powerful you become. While others panic, you stay calm. While others spiral, you stay focused. And while others try to figure you out, you're already 5 steps ahead. So here's your challenge moving forward. Practice the pause. Ask, is this worth my energy? Let go of things you can't control. Stay locked in on your bigger purpose, because emotional control is not about being emotionless. It's about being disciplined. And when you have that discipline, you walk through life with a calm intensity that people notice but can't explain. You become unshakable, not because you avoid emotion, but because emotion doesn't own you anymore. Let's dive deeper into indifference, not apathy, but mindful indifference, because it's one of the most underrated superpowers. We live in a world where we're conditioned to care about everything. Every opinion, every criticism, every little setback feels like a personal attack. Society tells us our worth depends on how much we invest in others' approval. But here's the truth. Most of what we worry about doesn't actually matter. The next time you catch yourself overthinking or stressing about something, ask, will this matter in 5 years? Usually the answer is no. Criticism fades. Failures become lessons, embarrassments, just moments that no one really remembers but us. Yet despite this, we let these minor things consume us. They hijack our thoughts and steer our emotions. And that's exactly what takes our power away. Mastering indifference means learning to prioritize. Your energy is limited. You can't waste it on every little thing. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion deserves your attention. When you stop reacting to every inconvenience or negative comment, you take your power back. You shift from being reactive to being strategically responsive. Think about the people you admire. They don't desperately seek approval or validation. They stand firm in who they are, unshaken by noise or judgment. They know their value, and because of that, they can't be easily manipulated or distracted. Imagine someone unfairly criticizing you. The weak-minded jump to defend themselves, over-explain, or lash out. But the strong, they stay calm. They understand words only have power if they give it to them. By not reacting, they control both the situation and themselves. That control commands more respect than any argument ever could. The same goes for success. Those who achieve greatness don't waste time on petty drama or trying to please everyone. They're laser-focused on their goals. They refuse to be distracted by irrelevant noise. They operate with clarity because they know every moment wasted worrying is a moment lost in their progress. So how do you develop this indifference? Start by evaluating your reactions. The next time you feel anger, frustration, or anxiety over something small, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Train yourself to let go of what doesn't serve you. Another powerful way to cultivate indifference is by setting clear priorities. Define what truly matters. Your purpose, growth, peace of mind. When you have a solid foundation of self-worth, other people's opinions lose their grip. You become untouchable. Not because you don't care about anything, but because you care deeply about the right things. That's the secret most people never realize. True power isn't about chasing approval. It's about being unmoved by rejection. It's about walking away from what drains you, rising above petty conflicts, staying focused amidst distractions. In the end, it's not about caring less. It's about caring wisely, choosing where to direct your energy and refusing to waste it on what doesn't deserve your attention. Because when you master the art of indifference, you don't just survive, you thrive. And in a world where everyone is desperate to please others, the one who stands firm in their self-worth will always rise above the rest. Now let's talk about one of the biggest traps out there, seeking approval. It sounds harmless, but chasing validation from others is a trap that steals your freedom and your power. When you constantly look to others to feel worthy, you hand over control of your happiness to people who don't even live your life. You become dependent on their opinions, their judgments, their likes or dislikes. Here's the reality. No one's opinion of you should ever matter more than your own. The moment you let someone else define your worth, you lose control over your own life. True confidence isn't given by others, it's built from within. It's built through self-reliance. By knowing you don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. Think about the most magnetic people you know. They don't beg for approval, they don't shrink themselves to fit in. They own who they are. Flaws, strengths, everything. And that's what makes them power few. Their power lies in their unwavering sense of self. While others chase validation, they walk their own path unapologetically, with purpose. Why do so many people fall into the approval trap? Because of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of standing alone. But here's the truth. The more you seek approval, the more you give away your power. You become a prisoner to expectations, bending and twisting yourself to fit into molds created by others. In doing so, you betray yourself. Freedom comes when you release the need to be liked by everyone. It's an illusion to think you can please everyone. No matter what you do, someone will admire you, someone will criticize you, and many won't care at all. So why waste your energy trying to please all of them? Look at the people who've changed the world. Leaders, innovators, creators. They don't care about fitting in. They're driven by vision, by purpose, by the fire inside. They face criticism but stay unfazed because their confidence comes from something far stronger than public opinion. It comes from self-belief. That's what makes them unstoppable. If you want to break free from the approval trap, start by asking yourself, whose opinion really matters? Often the loudest voices are from people who don't walk your path, who don't understand your journey. Their words carry no weight unless you give it to them. Another key step is learning to validate yourself, celebrate your progress, acknowledge your wins, big or small. When you start recognizing your own worth, external approval becomes irrelevant. You no longer need applause to feel worthy, you just know you are. Detaching from validation doesn't mean becoming arrogant or dismissive. It means standing firm in who you are, respecting your decisions and your path, refusing to let others dictate your direction. Understanding your value is not up for debate or negotiation. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you start living freely. You stop filtering your words, actions, and dreams through others' expectations. You move through life with authenticity, boldness, and a sense of purpose that can't be shaken. Not everyone will understand you, not everyone will support you, and that's okay. The ones who matter will respect you, not because you seek their approval, but because you don't need it. So choose yourself. Stand firm in your beliefs, your values, your vision. Let go of the need for external validation and embrace the power of self-acceptance. Because when you do, you become untouchable. Not because you have everyone's approval, but because you no longer require it. Let's finish strong with how to handle criticism, stay composed under pressure, and use silence as your ultimate power move. Handling criticism. Criticism is unavoidable. You'll always have people judging you, doubting you, or trying to bring you down. Most people crumble the moment they hear negative comments. They take it to heart, let it shake their confidence, and lose their focus. But criticism? It's just words, opinions that come from people who often don't understand your journey. Criticism only has power if you give it power. The strongest don't react emotionally. They filter criticism through logic. They take what's useful, discard the rest, and keep moving. There are two kinds of criticism. Constructive criticism, feedback that helps you grow, usually from people who know what they're talking about. Destructive criticism, meant to hurt, from people insecure or jealous. You want to welcome the first and ignore the second. Think of a sculptor working on a masterpiece. Some people admire the work, some offer helpful advice, others mock him. Does he abandon his vision? Number. He keeps going. That's how you should treat criticism. Ask yourself, does this person have the right experience or credibility to judge me? If yes, learn from it. If not, move on. Strong people don't let criticism break them. They use it or they ignore it. Keeping your composure under pressure reveals who we really are. Some people crack, fold, or panic, but the strong, they stay calm. They prepare their minds before challenges arrive. They know pressure is inevitable. Instead of fearing it, they accept it. Think of a seasoned warrior. He doesn't expect an easy fight. He expects resistance, ambushes, and surprises. But he remains composed because he's prepared. That's the mindset you need. Life will throw stress, setbacks, and doubt your way. If you train yourself to stay composed, nothing will shake you. While others panic, you'll breathe. While others react, you'll respond. Build this skill by changing how you see pressure. It's a test, a challenge, a chance to prove your discipline. Practice staying calm in small, stressful moments. Mentally rehearse tough situations. Prepare for the worst case. When you do this, you won't be caught off guard. You become a strategist, not a reactor. Mastering silence. Finally, silence.